Hello and thank you for tuning in to 90.4 Oman FM. This is Sarah Lawati and today we are here to talk about a very important segment of Oman society, one that makes up a significant portion of our demographic, and that is the youth of Oman. So we are joined today by the Executive Director of the Youth Center, Ms. Alia Saeed Al-Shanfari. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Let's start off with a brief introduction about the Youth Center. And could you explain the core purpose and the mission of the Youth Center?
So basically, the Youth Center is a government entity under the Ministry of Culture, Sport and Youth. And it existed since 2021. And we completed now around 3 years and more to come, inshallah. The purpose of the Youth Center is to empower the Omani youth and to equip them with the skill set that they need and the training programs that they need and the facilities, of course. The age category that we target is between the youth of 15 to 34. So we target all the youth in Oman, all around the governance in Oman.
Amazing. And how does the Youth Center strategically contribute to achieving Oman Vision 2040?
So basically, we have different indexes that we work into empowering. We have the Global Talent Competitive Index that is in the Oman Vision 2040. And we have the Youth Development Index, and we have the Global Competitiveness Index. These three indexes focuses on empowering youth and all around the world. So we focus on empowering the Omani ranking among the other countries and to raising them. One of the most highlighted index that shifted last year, and I think you've heard about it, the Youth Development Index. Our target in 2030 is 40 countries, and we've reached last year to be the best 33 countries around the world. So this was an achievement that we're very proud of, to have Oman index raising among other countries as well.
Amazing. And just out of curiosity, maybe off the top of your head, do you know what's the percentage of 15 to 34-year-olds here in Oman?
We have around, in the latest statistic, around 1.9 million. And by the way, we target Omanis and non-Omanis in the Youth Center. So the Omanis around 900,000 Omanis, and the non-Omanis are around 890,000 non-Omanis. So we have around 1.9 million youth in Oman, and we try to target them all in different training programs, not mainly in Muscat, but all other governance as well.
Amazing. That's a very significant portion of our demographic. And so in Oman Vision 2040, there are a lot of pillars and priorities. So how can involving the youth of Oman help in achieving those pillars and priorities?
So this is why we focus on upscaling the youth skill set in different segments. For example, in R&D, in innovation, in creativity. And we try to focus on the sub-indexes in the main indexes. Why is that? To be more focused on applying our impacts into youth and direct them to have a bigger impact and a more sustainable impact. So our programs are a little bit specific. And there is the general programs and there is the specific programs. For example, currently we have a program in Suhar which is focused only on logistics. That is matching with the Oman Vision 2040 in terms of Suhar as a logistic pillar, and also to empower more specialized training programs for youth to be more advanced in these specialized programs.
And can you give me some more examples about these programs that you have?
So we have different programs. We have our strategic programs, and we have the general programs, and we have the seasonal programs, and we have our strategic programs. The strategic programs focus on main pillars. For example, we have Tamakun. It's a program that focuses on empowering talents or specialized hobbies into a paid hobby or a paid as a freelance. So we try to transform their talent into a freelancer. So the idea of it is to empower the youth to get an income or to help him to be from a job seeker into a freelancer, or he can open his own startup or to be an entrepreneur.
And I imagine these are directly linked to finding employability in Oman, because freelancing and becoming an entrepreneur, they're very much encouraged nowadays. Is that correct?
It's exactly. So we focus into having our programs to empower the youth in an economic side or social side. So whether it was linking them with other entities or direct them to get their answers from other entities, or to get an income, whether it was directly from the youth center, or to empower him to be a freelance or an entrepreneur and he gets his own income. So that's one of the main pillars that the youth center focuses on.
That's amazing, honestly. And how do you balance between empowering or monetizing their hobbies and also letting them produce something that will be useful for Oman in the long term?
So we have one of the main components in the youth center is the creative industry incubator. Mm-hmm. So we have an incubator that is with the partnership with the SME authority, and it's an incubation program for 1 year that provides them consultation, legal consultation, business follow-up, and other consultations as well. And the idea of it is to empower youth to take their startups or their small medium enterprises into the next level. And why we selected the creative industry? Because it's one of the most growing sector in the world, and most of the creative industry is the youth interest. So this is why we have it in the youth center. And based on the statistics of last year, the youth generated more than 450,000 Omani riyals based on their income for their own companies. And hopefully, we just launched another segment. They're graduating now, and we already launched the invite of youth to sign up to be in the next segment for the incubator.
Okay, amazing. And what's the period of applications?
I think it's already closed. There is a filtration process now, and then they will have the incubation program for 1 year. Mm-hmm. It's subject to increase. It depends on the status of the company itself, mm-hmm. and the status of the work that they're doing.
Okay, and is there any requirement for anyone who wants to sign up to this program?
It's actually you have to be listed within the creative industry segment. And you need to be in the age category of youth, which is 15 to 34. Mm-hmm. And it's with the collaboration of the SME authority. So if you're not within, they will redirect you to another incubator. So you're not rejected. You will be redirected. And this is why we always seek to collaborate with other entities as well, because at the end of the day, all entities empowers youth.
Mm-hmm. And as a budding entrepreneur who goes through this incubator, what exactly is the process that they go through?
From the beginning?
Yes.
So they need to apply, and then there is the selection criteria, and then there is the interviews. And after the interviews, you'll be selected. You'll be notified when selected or no, and then you will join the incubation program. Of course, it starts with you will have your own mentor, you will have consultation, a monthly consultation. There's events and networking events that targets to get more contracts to them. And we have our own programs at the youth center, which allows them as well to get more contact and more networking opportunities. And all the guests for the youth center will take around, so they'll get more exposure. And we have the local events and the international events as well. And with the collaboration of the SME authority, we usually invite them to have an international attendance. Whether it was international events like the Web Summit, for example, in Qatar, or any other international event.
Incredible. And what makes the youth center spaces distinctive and appealing to young people?
So the idea of the youth center is a free space. Everyone can come. The environment is very appealing to youth, and the network. Usually, whenever someone new comes, he'll get to know some people around them. So the case in the youth center, it's free space, open to everyone, and everything that you need is available in one space. And if there is something you didn't found, you can request it, and you'll have it next time when you visit. So we try to allow flexibility in the area and in the spaces. So there's flexibility is there. So we try to allocate usually the youth center with the second home of youth.
Okay, that's amazing. It's great to see spaces that allow the youth to flourish and be creative. And so I was researching the youth center, and one thing that really stuck out to me when I was looking at your website is all the employees that work there. A lot of them, or the majority of them, are in the youth category. Why is that the case?
I think because it's the youth center. So it's that is the case because most of the youth center are mainly our youth. However, there is always need for experts, so it's not mandatory to be in the youth category. However, maybe around 80 to 90% of the employees in the youth center are youth.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier in the interview that you target youth from all over Oman. So how do you ensure equal access to the youth center facilities to youth from different regions and backgrounds in Oman?
Good. So basically, as I mentioned, our programs are not only in Muscat. They're all around the governance of Oman. And we have the seasonal programs. The seasonal programs focuses on each governance by itself. So, for example, we have the Masandam package of programs. We have the FAR package of programs. We have Ganub Sharqiya package of programs. And each government takes its own programs. And why is this? Just for us to focus on different segments, because our training programs differs from government to government, different governance to governance. And we always try to get an info from youth. What do you want to learn? And what's your aspiration of the upcoming month? What are you interested to learn? And I think this helped us a lot into designing things that they are interested in. So we have the seasonal programs, and we have our online programs as well. So our online programs are programs accessible for everyone in Oman and outside Oman. Even if you're studying abroad, you're allowed to sign up in our programs. One of the latest programs that we launched as an online program is a program with LinkedIn. It allows you to have a free access to LinkedIn Learning platform. It allows you to have more than 19,000 courses for free. And of course, we have our mandatory learning paths, which consider to be the specialized learning path and the soft skills learning path. So it's accessible to everyone. Again, Omani and non-Omani who are in Oman. And if you're abroad, you're also allowed to enter. So every 3 months, we accept 500 attendees of youth, and they join the platform, and we monitor them to ensure that the learning process are being held smoothly.
And what kind of subjects do you tackle in these programs?
So it differs. If it's the general program, usually it's, for example, a program for entrepreneurs. If it's another program, maybe it's about the financial consultations. It depends. But for the specialized programs, it depends on the location. For example, if it's Ganub Sharqiya, we're targeting, for example, agriculture, for example. If it's the FAR, it's tourism, for example. So it depends on the location, and it depends what is the segment that we are targeting.
Okay, that's very interesting. I didn't know that. And these programs are delivered in both Arabic and English?
Mostly in Arabic, but if it's an expert from outside Oman, it's in English. But around 95% of our programs are in Arabic. We have a package for non-Arabic speakers, which usually targets non-Omanis in Oman. And we teach them Arabic, and we teach them the culture of Oman and other aspects as well.
You did say that a lot of these programs are done based on what the youth tell you that they want to learn and what they hope to achieve. So what are the most in-demand subjects that they ask for?
I think the most in demand is soft skills. And I think this is very nice to tackle, because soft skills at the end of the day is one of the most important skill set that we need, even us, because it allows you to be empowered in different segments, in different areas of specialization, So why is that? Because it matches as the report of the World Economic Forum, you'll see that the more trending soft skills are, like, for example, decision making, lean leadership, crisis management, and a lot of other skill set as well. However, cybersecurity is one of the most in demanding specialization. If we're talking, we have some of the emerging technologies as well, AI and other aspects as well. We have, for example, one of the most independent was the logistics. The one we did in Sohar, for example, they were demanding in other governance, and now currently we're trying to develop it in other governance as well. So I think it depends. And also the entertainment as well. So we have competition, for example, the paddle tournaments. We have the e-sport, the e-gaming tournaments as well. So I think it depends on the timings. For example, in Ramadan, we're launching the programs. So it have a mixture of training programs and entertainment sector. It's a mix and match of a group of things.
It's amazing that all of these topics are so diverse and obviously so helpful to all the youth that are currently seeking employability or wanting to become entrepreneurs or so on and so forth. But you did say that you mostly focus on the creative industries. So how do topics like disruptive technologies or all of these things that you mentioned go into the creative industries?
So the creative industry is one aspect. And the other sectors as well, we have different aspects for it. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, the youth interest is different from government to government, from age category to age category. And as the youth center, we try to focus on most of the interests of youth. So this is why we have a diverse programs. And from logistics to agriculture to fisheries to it's all mixed. However, what is our main focus is we try to empower youth in the latest technology in agriculture, or the latest technology in fisheries, or the latest technologies in logistics, for example. This is why our programs is highly in demand. Usually, we're full in the first day we launch the programs. However, that showcases that the interest of youth is there and the demand is there. So, from the perspective of youth center. We focus on allowing more programs to youth in different locations as well.
Okay. Could you describe one partnership that significantly boosted your capacity to deliver impactful youth programs?
Okay, so I think one partnership would be maybe our partnership with Oman LNG. So we have strategic partnerships. We have around 3 to 8 strategic partners. And one of them is Oman LNG. Of course, we signed up with them in Omani Youth Day last year. Different partnerships. One of them is our headquarters in Qunub Sharqiya is with the collaboration of Oman LNG, and also we have our yearly programs in Qunub Sharqiya. The seasonal programs is usually also with the partnership of Oman LNG. So the idea of the partnership in that kind of programs is to allow 10 to 15 programs in Qunub Sharqiya in different wilayas, and to ensure that each wilaya gets its own programs. So it's very seasonal, and we have a lot of demand of the programs, and there is a lot of success stories that came up from that partnership.
Could you share some of those success stories?
Actually, yes. There was one. We had a tour. We usually have visits to some of the locations of the programs, and we had one guy. We asked him about how was the program. And he was around 17 to 18 years. So he said, this was my 8th program that I joined from the youth center. And he just finished high school. So he said that he was interested. He joined 8 programs. That is different from... It was different. I can't remember the exact programs. So he said, I tried them all. I didn't like any of them except one, the cybersecurity. And now when I'm applying to university, I want to be accepted in the cybersecurity. So it was before the announcement of the high school. So after a month, our internal team, of course, they always follow up with some of the things, the internal things. So they came back to him and they asked him, where did you get the acceptance? And he got accepted in cybersecurity. So I think this is one of the success stories that we try to give youth as much opportunities, and it's okay to try, and you didn't like it, so you'll shift to something at least you're interested in. And that redirect is very important, especially in the early age. Why is that? Because instead of you wasting your some of the years and then knowing what you want, if you have it early, that is more beneficiaries for him.
Yeah.
So I think this is one it was one of the success stories that I remember now.
No, it's a great story, and as you said, it's really good to have something. It's a journey of self-discovery as well. You see what you like, and then you try it out, and it's honestly a great initiative. I did also want to ask, how do you measure the effectiveness of all of these programs?
Okay, so usually we have two main KPIs. The social impact and the economic impact. So the youth center, when we evaluate our programs, usually we focus on how many people got contract, for example, how much did they got. Did any one of them change his social status, for example, from a job seeker to a freelance, or from a job seeker to be an entrepreneur, or anything else? Or did he get a job? Or we try to focus on that aspect as well. And from the income status or the economic status, we try to focus on having the cash flow goes. Because as the youth center, all our programs, it's not done by the youth center. It's done by tenders. We announce the tenders in our social media and all our accounts. And then the SMEs apply, and then they get the contracts. And this is why we focus on being transparent and being able to have that opportunity to everyone, for them to apply and get the contracts, and then even to follow up the participants itself. How did they get how did they get benefit of the program?
Do you have any statistics of these beneficiaries you can share with me?
Actually, yes. We had contracted with more than 1,014 SMEs and the freelancers. We empowered more than 360,000 Amanis and non-Amanis in Oman. So I think that's for now, yeah.
What inspires you the most about the youth of Oman today?
So I think what inspires me the most is how resilient they are and how creative they are. And they're always seeking opportunities. And I think this is very important, because when you seek more opportunity, you're more aware of your surrounding, of the opportunities that is there. And I think that builds up the Oman Vision 2040, and they are more ready to contribute in any aspects, whether it was their own projects or the national projects.
Amazing. And what do you think the youth of Oman will contribute to the GDP of Oman by 2040?
I think we talk about diversity. So the aspect of SMEs, the contribution of the SMEs in the GDP is very important. And I think as the SME authority just announced that we got improved in some of the global indexes, and there is an increase also in the SMEs that is registered as well. So hopefully there's an increase, inshallah, in the SMEs contribution to the GDP.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, this was Alia Saeed Al-Shanfari, the Executive Director of the Youth Center here in Oman. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sarah. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for tuning into 90.4 Oman FM. Once again, this was Sarah Al-Lawati, and I was joined by the Executive Director of the Youth Center, Miss Alia Al-Shanfari. For any youth who are looking to empower themselves and develop their skills, you can find more information on the Youth Center's main website, which is yc.om. Thank you.